because for the fifth Friday I won't be here, and I thought we weren't going to have services here for the fifth Friday of the Akathist, but Eddie's father announced it on Sunday. So I figure we'll go through a bunch of these things just to get you guys, assuming that you're available for that Friday, to get you ready to go. And if something falls through with the monastery, then I'll let you know, and I'll try to be there. So both of these are sung at the service, and we can look at the service in a little bit, but we'll just sing through these. So when the bodiless, we'll start. The politician. Ne agiem. When the bodiless one learned the secret command, in haste he came and stood before Joseph's dwelling, and spake unto the maiden who knew not wedlock, the one who hath bowed the heavens by his descent, is held and contained unchanging wholly in thee, seeing him receiving the form of a servant in thy womb. I stand in awe and cry to thee, rejoice thou bride unwedded. Cool. And then the ending, rejoice thou bride unwedded.
So what's this for? Saturday the Akathist. The Saturday the Akathist.
So it's the fifth Friday.
Yeah, the fifth Friday. This is sung during like the liturgy and the matins as well because of that. But during the actual Akathist hymn, this replaces one of the things on the fifth Friday. So,
okay.
So I don't know if that felt comfortable enough.
We could go through it one more time if you want.
Okay. And this one, like if you listen at the Greek churches, a lot of times like they take their time with this and to be the champion leader. So if you're kind of like I want to breathe, it's as opposed to just keeping it going at a steady clip. When the bodiless one learned the secret command, you can kind of just let that stand on its own. But it's always nice sometimes to keep the rhythm. So, we'll bring it up a little bit. Again, when the bodiless one learned the secret command, in haste he came and stood before Joseph's dwelling, and spake unto the maiden who knew not wedlock, the one who hath bowed the heavens by his descent, is held and contained unchanging wholly in thee, seeing him receiving the form of a servant in thy womb. I stand in awe and cry to thee, rejoice thou bride unwedded. And so during this, I believe it's this one, that this is what begins Father David coming out of the altar to chant the Akathist hymn. So this, if you're, hopefully it's not a very far distance, so this should be perfectly fine. But if you notice he hasn't made it there, you can kind of pull it back a little bit in tempo. And then finally, the Rejoice Thou Bride Unwedded, you can pull that too. Just Rejoice Thou Bride Unwedded. Or you can do the long version, but we can discuss that. Move on. Right, to the champion leader. Similar, but different melody. So these are two original melodies, and they're both similar enough that they're slightly confusing, but Ne agien, to thee the champion leader we thy flock dedicate, a feast of victory and of thanksgiving, as one rescued out of sufferings, O Theotokos. But as thou art one with might which is invincible, from all dangers that can be, do thou deliver us, that we may cry to thee, rejoice, thou bride unwedded.
Champion. Okay.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I do too, but it's a little bit different than like I'm used to singing with a choir. So the word, I mean the translation's a little different.
Yeah. But
Victory.
Okay. And then it continues, which is the weird thing, and that's where at least here, like a feast of victory and of, so that little pull there. Sometimes you don't need the breathe there, but sometimes, especially if this comes I think 4 different times. So you've already sung a whole lot, and then you sing this, and it's kind of, if you're running out of breath, then you have to pick it right after the word. It wouldn't make sense to go victory. And so it's kind of weird with the way that this is written.
Yeah.
But so straightforward.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'd like to go to Awed by the Beauty. We have a short and a long version. We'll look at the short version first because the other one is just more for exciting reading.
For more exciting reading. Is that the exciting one, and which one is it?
One says Dicuraric long version, and then the other one should say third mode adapted from traditional melody. So the long version is the exciting one, the more exciting one.
Okay.
Which we sang it at the Greek church. We were singing at St. Sophia's. We were singing all sorts of really, really long ones, and the people were still coming. Like there were enough people that like we had finished this 10-minute thing, and we're like, all right, take out another 10-minute version of this. Yeah.
How many people shut up? Huh?
Yeah. It didn't seem like it in their big church, but when they actually all come up, it was a quite large number. So Awed by the Beauty, this is done at the end, normally as people are venerating the icon.
Right.
So, na na, another original melody. Awed by the beauty of thy virginity and the exceeding radiance of thy purity, Gabriel called out unto thee, O Theotokos, what worthy hymn of praise can I offer unto thee, and what shall I name thee? I am in doubt and stand in awe. Wherefore, as commanded, I cry to thee, rejoice, O full of grace. The only thing I would say, sometimes you hear people go, when did I cry to thee, rejoice, O full of grace. They add that extra little note and jump down. Same the way, it's written the same exact way, but they just add that extra note. Any thoughts?
Nope.
Okay, straightforward?
Very straightforward.
Yeah. And all these, like, because these are all original melodies, there's a repetitive quality to them. They repeat little phrases again and again, and then nuance them a little bit so you kind of remember how they go. So, okay. Moving on. Let's go to there should be a page. It's a handwritten pages, probably at the end of the Canon of the Akathist. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, the simplified one. One should be rejoice, and then one says hail.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd hate to see the complex one.
Oh, well, we'll sing the other one. Because I have two. There's ones. I'll give you some recordings of complex ones. George in DC, he sings some complex, really tremendously complex ones where the priest is normally supposed to be sensing during this, like around the icon, so that this gives him an opportunity if they're complex. But his are a little much. Okay, so yeah, the refrain simplified. Number 1, rejoice. So Father David would do his thing, and then he says, "Rejoice, thou bride unwedded," and then hopefully you're all in the same keys, whatever key you started with on the as the bodiless one learn the secret command. Neagie, rejoice, O bride unwedded.
Oh, we've heard this one before. We sung this in different places. Cool.
Yeah. So we'll do that one more time, and then we'll do the Alleluia. Okay. Rejoice, O bride unwedded. Cool. And sometimes you will hear some chants go like this, kind of pull back and just almost, I don't know, and effortless, just lay it down lightly. But that's not necessarily how I do it. But Alleluia, same exact thing. Alleluia, Alleluia. Cool. Any thoughts? Okay, you want to do the complicated one?
Yeah, let's do the complicated.
And I can always rewrite it so that it's rejoice instead of hail, but the only one I have right now is hail.
Okay, so this is the same thing, just slightly different translation and more complex.
Yep. Yeah, this is the one that yeah, that one I wrote as a simplified version to mimic Anna, whatever she had. So this is actually, the one here is actually from a book.
A real Greek book.
Nah.
Nah.
So, Neagie, hello, bride, without bridegroom. Different version of the Elder Bride. So I don't know if there's any questions on this. Do it again.
Yeah, one more time.
Hello, bride, without And the Alleluia is the same thing. Except you would probably breathe differently. So.
Good evening.
Hmm? Next week, actually. Yeah.
We can stay from Friday?
Yes. We'll still go over it, unless you want to switch the grade mode.
No, no, let's go over this just in case.
So what, no?
No Friday.
Yeah, he won't be here.
Oh.
Yeah. That makes it easy. Good. The calendar is correct. Do you want to sing the Alleluia? It just changes the words. It's the same thing. It just changes the placement of the words.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to. Ne agie it's a wonderful thing when you if you have priests that are used to this. The fact that it's longer means like they can be a little bit more stately in terms of what they're doing with like sensing and going around it in a non-rushed fashion type of thing. Like if you give them 10 seconds, they have to quickly sense the Mother of God. But if you give them a good 30 seconds?
Yeah.
They can do it in a leisurely, much more respectful fashion. Okay, so do you want to go over the Canon of the Akathist or the long version of By the Beauty?
Oh, yeah, let's go over the Canon.
Okay.
This time we can do with it.
Yeah. So
where's this from?
It's from me.
This is from you, so you typeset this?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the translation you use?
Holy Transfiguration Monastery in Brookline. I
think you had this a couple years back. I remember getting this from you, okay.
Yeah. So there's a few places where I want to change it, but I've had it like for so long as it is that I'm like, do I really want to change it? There's things, and I can point them out to you, but there's things where the stress is, like let's say on the second one, O Christ spoke endowed with life. O Christ spoke endowed with life and clearly see with the Spirit's grace. On seeing thee, O pure one. It should be on seeing thee, O pure one. A little bit different change in stress. Yeah. Even though it's still kind of stressed, it might be better on seeing thee, O pure one. A little different. The jury's still out in my mind as to what I want to do. So at some point I might this is version 1.1. I had a version 1.0. This is version 1.1 after criticisms. And then version 1.2 may come out eventually. So all of them are good though. So, okay, so we'll just sing straight through.
Sure.
Don't repeat anything. Do you have the Most Holy Mother of Gods or just a separate sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, the way that works is I put in Most Holy Mother of God, save us. That got criticized well. It wasn't, a bad criticism on the forums that said you should make it more flowy. At least Papa Ephraim from St. Anthony's said that he would prefer it more flowy. So that's when this one in the separate sheet, Most Holy Mother of God, save us. A little bit more flowy. I like the other one as well. But he wrote that one, and he said, I would prefer this one in the thing. So I was like, all right, Papa Ephraim, I'll put that up there as an option. So
a co-author now.
Exactly. That's how you get on papers and all journal articles.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just did one thing. You make one comment. It's kind of like, oh, now you're an author. So we'll just sing through all the hymns, and we'll skip over the refrains.
Okay.
Just because
they're all the same.
Yeah. So legatos.
It says legatos.
It does. Yeah.
More.
So
to memorize these, and if it's right there in front of you, it's like a crutch.
So fourth mode legatos is a certain type of fourth mode. So that's why they actually write legatos there, as opposed to agia or I don't know what other one there is. To me it seems like it's legatos and agia, and then there's the soft grammatic version. So sometimes they do write legatos in Greek, and if you notice where it says under salutations, it says ichos and then gatos, and then underneath there's like a little lambda to tell you it's fourth mode. That's the legatos in Greek. So when you write it out in English, it's fourth mode legatos from Vu. So I don't know if you see that on there.
See it.
Yeah. I know, it doesn't. If you were Greek, you might be like, legatos, but we're Americans. We don't see that. So okay, legatos. I shall open my mouth to chant, and with the Spirit shall I be filled. And words shall I now pour forth unto the Mother and Queen. And I shall be seen in joyous jubilation, acclaiming exultantly all of her wondrous deeds. And this is the one that we use at St. Sophia's. They're using it, although they're trying to make it more modern English for certain things.
Oh yeah.
But that's kind of a good speed. I've sung it faster, and George, at least there, he started off like, I shall open my mouth, like really kind of, because you're going to speed up. But okay, so then you go, Most Holy Mother of God, save us, or whatever version of it.
Yeah.
Next one, O Christ book. O Christ book, endowed with life and clearly sealed with the Spirit's grace. On seeing thee, O pure one, the great archangel cried out, and exclaimed, Rejoice, O vessel of rejoicing, through whom our first mother's curse utterly is dispelled. The one thing, since we were messing up before on this too, when you have an oligon or anything going up with that little swoopy guy underneath, the psifiston, that tells you that you're going to go down more than one after it, and normally you're not going to have it. It's going to be a carried syllable, so just in case that helps at all, it probably won't. But utterly, as opposed to utterly, that would be a different, there's different ways of writing it.
Okay.
But normally you would expect that.
Oh, right.
Not always, but just something to be aware of. Rejoice, Virgin Bride of God, for thou art Adam's recovery. Rejoice, O all blameless one, thou art the death knell of Hades, and the only King's pure dwelling place and palace. Rejoice, fiery throne of the only omnipotent.
That last phrase is.
Rejoice, fiery throne?
Yeah.
Rejoice, fiery throne of the only omnipotent. Of the only omnipotent.
Okay.
So on to rejoice for that only one. That's it. And
Omnipotent.
yeah. And the way so with a lot of these things I've gotten they're weird things about how you separate words, and I think we've discussed that again. And it's always dictionary separations. And so I actually got really confused in one of the OCA things where they didn't do that. And it was like ble, B-L-A, and then the next thing was M-E, less. And I was like, blam, and I was like, males? And I was like, what word is this? Because you would put blame and then less. So it's kind of a funny thing. But rejoice, O thou only one. Rejoice, O thou only one who blossomed forth the unfading rose. Rejoice, for to thee was born the apple fragrant and sweet. For thou art, O maid, the only King's pure fragrance. Rejoice, O unwedded one, ransom of all the world. O treasure? O treasure of purity, rejoice, for from our most grievous fall We rose once again through thee, rejoice, O lily most sweet, filling faithful men with fragrance, O pure lady, O incense of peerless and priceless and precious myrrh. And those kind of come out of nowhere sometimes, the priceless and precious myrrh. Keep going. Make steadfast. Make steadfast, O holy Theotokos, thou living and never failing spring, all them that form a company, and gather forth to praise thy name, and by thy grace divine, O Maid, deem them all worthy of glory's crown. Rejoice, O thou untilled land that blossomed, the ear of wheat sacred and divine, a living table art thou made, that held the very bread of life. Rejoice, unfailing wellspring of the living water, O Queen of all. Living water, or keep going?
Living water.
Rejoice, O unfailing wellspring of the living water, O Queen of all. And we'll see that again and again. So.
I like that word painting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The flowing water. Yeah. Sometimes it's funny when they're like, and the dove. You know, it's like this little fluttering dove. You know. Which sadly on ours, dove wasn't in the right place, and so I put it there anyway because I still liked it. And then that was one of the comments was, you can't do that. That's the board print dove, and you have dove earlier. You know. So I was like, all right, fine, you're right. Oh heifer, that bear the blameless calf, is a compliment, not
an insult.
Yep.
Yes.
O heifer that bear the blameless calf, for the faithful to thee we cry, rejoice. Rejoice, most gracious mercy seat, and throne of Christ the King of all. Rejoice, thou you that bear the Lamb of God that taketh away men's sins. Cool. And
the way it mirrors. You've got the water, and then you've got taketh away the sins, so it's like it mirrors the same.
It's this baptism of the sins being taken away. And feel free to stop me if something does trip you up. Rejoice. Rejoice, radiant morn that hast dawned, bringing forth Christ God the spiritual Son. Rejoice, O dwelling of the light, thou didst dispel the gloom of night, and didst wholly annihilate the darksome ranks of the demon's host. Rejoice, for thou art. Rejoice, for thou art alone the gateway and portal which God the Word traversed. O Lady, thou didst crush the bars and gates of Hades by thy childbirth. Rejoice, O holy entry of the saved, O praised, and all lauded one. Cool. And that one, as you notice, it says right chorus. So if you're going back and forth, the right choir always begins certain odes, and the left choir always begins certain odes.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're the right choir, and you begin ode 1, because they always begin everything, ode 1, you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Well, now the left choir is ending ode 3, but they should be beginning ode 4 because it's an even ode. So the right chorus has to finish so that the left chorus can begin. So, rejoice, O holy entry of, and the right choir comes in, the saved, O praise.
So does the same choir do the refrain? How does that work? I guess it must, right?
No, so you sing something. So let's go to the beginning of ode.
And then who does the So
yeah. So I shall open my mouth is done once, right choir, then left choir does it again, and then right choir says, Most Holy Mother of God, save us, and they go on to do the next one.
Okay, so it is really every other thing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then.
Oh, but then they say whoever does the refrain does the next verse. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, otherwise someone would never do the verse.
Yeah, the only time that happens when you don't do that is if it's glory to the Father followed by both now. Oftentimes you would like if you were right choir, you would do glory. I would do both now, and then you would sing the hymn. But because I'm giving you a pause, essentially.
Yeah.
So sometimes upstairs, at least what we did in Pittsburgh, was that whoever was singing, if there were like two of us, like one would go like, glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, and then I would jump, both now and ever, and then he would actually sing the hymn, but I would be giving him a pause that he can actually get ready to do it.
You're ready?
So, which is, it's a neat thing when you actually have two choirs, because then you can actually breathe. Ode 4. Legatos. Seated in his. Sorry, I had an update that went over my music. I was like, what is that? I just canceled it though. I have no idea what I canceled. Seated in his holy glory on the throne of divinity, Jesus God transcendent cometh on a light cloud as King of all. And he hath saved by his pure and undefiled hand them that cry to him, Glory, O Christ, to thy sovereign might. Cool. Next one. With a voice of song we cry out, O all praise one to thee with faith. Rejoice, O Butter Mountain, girdled in the Spirit by grace divine. Rejoice, O lampstand and urn of manna from on high, which the sweet and all pious men's senses and godly wise. My favorite thing ever. Have you ever talked about Butter Mountains?
I don't remember ever hearing that one.
You and I have.
Okay, we've talked about Butter Mountains. If you want to talk about Butter Mountains, either now or some other time, I'm all about talking about Butter Mountains. And curdled with the Spirit.
Yeah, I'll make a note to ask you about that.
Yeah. Psalm 67, I believe.
Look it up.
And that's the Legato Rise Psalm. So Butter Mountain fits in there.
An uncut mountain.
Thou, O undefiled Lady, art the mercy seat of the world, and the ladder raising all men from the earth to the heights by grace. Rejoice, O bridge that does truly lead from death to life. All that praise thy name, and cry rejoice unto thee, O maid. Yeah, there's 4 there.
Yeah, so I didn't.
Yeah. This entire thing is so rich with imagery of Christ and the Mother of God. It's just overwhelming. Being higher than the heavens. Being higher than the heavens, in thy womb thou didst hold the earth's pillar and foundation, and thou didst not suffer travail, O maid. Rejoice, O seashell that dippest in thine own pure blood. The blessed purple robe died for the King of all heaven's hosts. The beginning again?
Yes, please.
Being higher than the heavens, in thy womb thou didst hold the earth's pillar and foundation, and thou didst not suffer. Yeah. So, anything there? Is that good? Or so it's just more word printing. Sometimes you will hear people, just because of the attraction of notes, being higher than the heavens. Kind of makes it a little bit more hard chromatic-ish. And that's where if you ever because this is centering around zo, high zo, and low zo, it kind of has a grave mode diatonic, which you've never sung. And that's exactly what diatonic grave mode does. Diatonic zone 7 is that na ta da 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 dum. It's kind of a mix of hard chromatic and diatonic. Very unnerving when you actually sing it, which we will sometime. So keep going to the lawgiver. Legatos to the lawgiver, O Lady, didst thou give birth in very truth. Freely, O pure Virgin, he hath blotted out our iniquities. O depth unknown to our minds and height ineffable. O unwedded maid, we all through thee have been deified. And that's one on the height ineffable. A lot of times you can kind of bring it back a little bit. Yeah. And then sometimes on the at the end of these phrases, especially if you're doing it solo, or like if there's two of us, I think last year was just you and me, a lot of times you need to pause. So that's where we all through thee have been deified, both now and ever. Because if you didn't do that, it deified. And to breathe, it kind of seems out of place. You haven't even given it room. So for the world. For the world, O maid, didst thou plait a pure crown, fashioned not by man. Hence with hymns we praise thee, crying out, rejoice, O blessed Virgin Maid. Thou art all mankind's sure rampart and firm citadel, and our battlement, and sacred shelter, and safe retreat. And it's always a good thing to do that right before the new ode, because normally you've sped up anyway. So it gives you a chance to pull it back and be like, we're going to change tempo. One thing I didn't mention, in between these, like if you're on the 5th week, you would, I think it's like 1st and 3rd ode, then break, 4th and 5th ode, break, 6th, 7th, 8th, or however, 6th, 7th, and then 8th, 9th, however it breaks up. And so the priest does his little Stasis of the Akathist hymn there. And normally, at least at one of the Greek churches in Pittsburgh that I used to go to all the time for this, the priest changes his vestment colors at each one. Really? So on the 5th week, he comes out in blue, because that's the Mother of God, and then he goes out in red, then he goes out in green, then he goes out in something else. Wow. All these festal colors, because the Dormition, she gets all the odes, and then the Akathist, she gets all these colors because nothing can express, like the angels are lost to express her anyway with words. So we just keep changing colors.
But were they mute as fish?
They made the logicians illogical. Prove the philosophers as fools. Yes. I love mute as fish though, and I never understood that. I don't, you know, the mute as fish part.
Mute.
Yeah.
The Akathist.
Yeah, rejoice. Thou who has proved the philosophers mute as fish, or something like that. And I was like, mute as fish? What does that even mean? And then one of the Greek chanters he's American, but he was like, you know, just mouth open, nothing doing. It does nothing. Yes. It's just going for whatever reason. I don't know why fish do that exactly. But that's exactly what, you know, in comparison to the theology.
I think that's fish panting.
Oh really?
Yes, they're trying to get the oxygen through the gills.
But I love that. It's just yes, nothing comes out. It's just inane babbling.
Line never gets old, does it?
Yeah, and the inane babbling of whatever, and then the webs of the Athenians, and all creatures were sore amazed. All creatures were sore amazed at thy divine and great glory made, O pure Virgin, who hast not known wedlock. For thou didst hold in thy womb the God of all, and gavest birth to the timeless Son, who dost grant salvation unto all them that acclaim thy name. Okay, we're going to see a lot of those things again, so do you want to do it again?
Just because we will be seeing a lot of these, I want to make sure I've got everything down.
Okay, and I'm going to comment on another thing after we're done this ode about the Akathist hymn. All creatures were sore amazed at thy divine and great glory made. O pure Virgin, who hast not known wedlock, for thou didst hold in thy womb the God of all, and gavest birth to the timeless Son, who dost grant salvation unto all them that acclaim thy name. Better?
Better.
Cool. Next one. Rejoice, O all blameless one, for thou didst bring forth the way of life, saving all mankind from the flood of sin and transgression. Rejoice, O bride of God, thy fame and report inspire all. For in thee creation's Lord made his dwelling and place of rest. Sometimes you can pull it back on thy fame and report. So, rejoice, O most spotless. Rejoice, O most spotless maid, thou art our might and our battlement, and blessed sanctuary of God's glory. The death of Hades, and bridal chamber of light. Rejoice, joy of all angelic hosts, and the speedy help of them that entreat thee with faithful hearts. Keep going, or?
Yeah.
Rejoice, fiery chariot of God the Word, O thou Queen of all, for in thee the tree of life was planted, even the Lord God, O living paradise. His sweetness doth grant life to all men, who partake of him with faith, though corruption once ruled o'er them. Though corruption once ruled o'er them. And we've talked about the dots before, right?
Yeah.
I think we're gone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just making sure.
We have encountered the dotted one.
They're actually called a pedistigmeni, which
Right.
apparently, I think that, it's from like the petal of the little stamen of the flower, all those little dots in the center of the flower. Made strong by thy might. Made strong by thy might, O maid, to thee we cry out most faithfully. Rejoice, thou depth unmeasured and unfathomed. Rejoice, O mountain whole and unhewn by man. Rejoice, O thou city of the King. Glorious and laudable things are most clearly told of thee. O most spacious? O most spacious tabernacle of the Word, O all spotless one, thou made art the shell with the divine pearl. Rejoice, O true reconciliation to God, for all them that ever call thee blessed, praising thine all wondrous name, O Theotokos and Bride of God. Cool. So, as the priest is singing the Akathist hymn, normally, week by week, and I think during the fifth week too, he changes the tone that he sings it in. So the first one's like tone plagal 4, which is the regular one with the rejoice that we sang.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one's plagal 1, and the next one's diatonic grave mode. Then he does it plagal 2, a hard chromatic, and then he actually switches through.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really heard that done because a lot of the priests are not chanters in America, especially, so they don't know or they can't do it. So you just stick to plagal 4, which is easy enough. But on some of the recordings that I've heard, you're kind of like, the priest is going crazy. Like, it's kind of like, what tone are we in now? So, it's kind of a neat thing, especially when you have a priest. A lot of the priests in Greece were chanters who just, like, they went to seminary as well. And then this is their one chance. We're like, all right,
Yes.
I will chant now. So, Ode 6. Ode 6 for the Mother of God is normally from Pa, and this one is the same thing. On this divine and most honored feast of God's O Holy Mother, let all of godly mind now celebrate. Come, let us faithful now clap our hands and send up glory unto the God whom she hath borne. Most Holy Mother of God is written differently because it's now from Pa up to Thee. Unstained Chamber of God.
So this is true just about tone 6?
Ode 6.
Ode 6, I'm sorry.
Yep, yeah, 6th ode is normally from Pa. When it's in tone 4, 6th ode is from Pa.
When it's in tone 4, so it's not always in tone 4?
No. Well, you have other canons, and those canons are not in tone 4. But the ones for the Mother of God, that is these, are always in tone 4.
So you're saying, I know there's other canons, but you're saying Ode 6 of other canons is always from Pa?
No. Only if it's in tone 4.
Only if it's in tone 4. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And so then you go to this thing and it says from Pa.
Yep.
That one up.
Most Holy Mother of God, save us. O unstained chamber. O unstained chamber of God the Word, Thou art the cause of deification of all men, O spotless one. O echoing of the prophet's words, rejoice the blessed adornment of the apostles' choir. From Thee there came down the holy dew, that quenched the burning flame of idolatry. For this we cry to Thee. Rejoice, bedewed these foreseen of old, in God's most awesome wonder revealed to Gideon. To the glory. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Behold, we cry out, rejoice to Thee. Be Thou the port and haven for all that sail upon the stormy sea. Of grievous sorrows and stumbling blocks, and of deceits unnumbered laid by the enemy, both now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. O cause of gladness, come fill our thoughts with gladness, that we all may cry out to Thee. Rejoice, unburning bush. Rejoice, O cloud, wholly filled with light, ever protecting all them that keep the holy faith. Okay, keep going?
Yeah.
We're getting close, but... Legatos, no created thing, but only the Creator would the godly-minded use adore and worship as God. But manfully trampling down threats of fire, they cried out, O supremely praised, and all acclaimed one, blessed art Thou, O the Lord God of our fathers. In acclaiming Thee, we cry, rejoice, O chariot of the Noetic Son. Rejoice, true vine that is fair, the truly ripe cluster of grapes dripping with the wine that doth gladden all the souls of them that glorify Thee most faithfully, O Virgin. To the healer of all mankind hast Thou given birth. Rejoice, O bride of God. Thou art the mystical rod, from whom the unfading rose blossomed and budded forth. And through Thee we men, inherit life and filled with joy, cry, rejoice to Thee, O Lady. Rhetoricians' tongues cannot acclaim thee worthily above the seraphim. Art thou exalted, O Maid? For thou, Lady, didst bring forth Christ, the one King of all. Him do thou entreat, that we who worship thee with faith be now rescued from all evil. To the ends of earth thy name is ever praised and blessed, and all men cry to thee. Rejoice, O volume wherein the word was inscribed by the Father's hand, O pure one. O Theotokos, pray him that thy servants be inscribed in the book of life, O famed one. We thy slaves, O Maid, entreat thee, and do bow the knee of our hearts to thee. Incline thine ear, O pure one, and save us who sink in affliction and suffering, and preserve thy flock from every evil and assault of the foe, O Theotokos. I'm wondering if we should stop there.
No, you've got your...
Yeah, often they start late though. I guess I should go out. Yeah, it's a good place to stop.
Good.
Next week is the Great Canon.